Uh, Today we have hopefully a fantastic session. I've really been looking forward to this one for the last week. We have Bryn. So Bryn came through backpack closers training beginning of this year, I think it was. Um, he went through the training, went through set of training, passed it in 4 weeks, on time with what we promise. Um, Passed his assessment, went onto the job board, landed the company that he wanted to land. It was a solar company, so they do residential and corporate solar. I'll let Bryn explain what it is in a little bit more detail. Since landing that role, he's now been promoted twice, and he's absolutely killing it. He left the UK the second he's joined our training. He quit his job, left the UK, moved to Brazil, took a gamble on himself, and fortunate enough for him, he made it work. Bryn's happily number one. The company that he's working for, they're hiring. We put that application on the main job board the other day. So get your applications in. But yeah, Bryn's joined us just to answer, maybe give a little bit of background on his process, how we found it, the good, the bad, the ugly, how it's been going since he's joined, what his promotions look like, and just ultimately shine a light on what worked well for him, what maybe didn't work for him, and also answer all of your questions. So we're very, very fortunate that he's been able to jump on with us today. Bryn, I will hand the mic over to you if you're okay to give us a bit of a background on what you were doing before, um, your process on when you joined us, how you found that, obviously how you found navigating the job board, interviewing, the job you're in, and overall how that's going now.
Yeah, all good. Yeah, good to see everyone and how many people there are. I was saying to Santino before we jumped on, like when we were doing this, when did I do it? April time, wasn't it? I think. There was only about six or seven of us in, and it's slowly growing, but now there's like loads of you. It's really good to see. So basically, my background before doing this was I worked in the film industry in sound recording for about 13, 14 years. That was like my whole career. Went to uni, studied film. I didn't know a single thing about sales. I worked in a few like pubs and stuff when I was growing up, so I could speak to people like quite happily. But in terms of actually selling, and especially selling on the phone, I had zero experience. So I was pretty nervous. It was daunting. I was in sort of I guess, a privileged position in terms of the money I earned in film was very good. And being freelance, it gave me the flexibility to do the training and completely focus on it whilst sort of working either side of it. I wasn't doing like a 9 to 5 and then doing this as well. So maybe it was beneficial in that way. I could literally just focus on this. Like I could do all the script, sort of practicing and everything during the day and learning everything. I was just like deep diving into it. So, I mean, if any of you can, just try and put as many hours into the training and the the sort of research you can do outside of your current jobs, because that really helped me just to focus on it. Um, but yeah, when I came in, I just saw Santino's advert on, I think it was Facebook or Instagram or something. Again, very skeptical. And the reason I signed up was because I'm not sure if you guys have met a guy called Aaron. Welsh guy, so he worked with Santino before. And I was like, look, I think I want to do this, but I'm just so skeptical. So what I did, I jumped on a call with Aaron, which Santino recommended, and he just put me completely at ease because he basically did what I've done now. He trained with Santino, went off, got a job. He'd been doing it for a few years, and he was like, "Look, if you do this, then it's completely achievable. But what you have to do, you have to knuckle down, you have to do the work. You basically have to treat this like university because you're basically paying for education. And if you don't take it seriously, if you don't turn up, if you don't put the reps in, if you don't do your own homework, you won't get anywhere with it. You'll just get to the end of the course and just expect something. But as long as you just put the effort in, then you can achieve whatever you want. And that's what Aaron said to me. And I was like, what? Fair enough. If I'm paying for it, then I've got to knuckle down and just do it. And that's what I did. Um, So yeah, it was just going through the training with Santino. Initially, it was like um, setter roles and closer roles, and because I hadn't done anything before, Santino was like, "I think you should go for a closer role." But for me, that was a bit sort of daunting because I'd never even called anyone and tried to sell anything before, so I just didn't feel too comfortable doing that. I was like, look, I want to start as a setter. Went through that, and then if I turn into a closer later on, then great, more money, more experience. I'm happy to do that. So yeah, focused on setting on that side, nailing that script. I mean, we practiced God knows how many times, and like I think the big thing was me, there was a couple of guys when I was coming up through training that I sort of got on quite well with. And what we did outside of the training you do with Santino is if you guys can jump on a call with each other and do that script rehearsal and training after or before your lessons, then that's really what sort of pushed us because when we got to the class, it's like we didn't have to worry about the script. We already knew it. So it was just like that was when you could just become way more confident with it. And just also speaking in front of people, like I know it feels super daunting, but like when we were doing it, because we'd rehearsed it, and also you make relationships with people in the training, it just made it way more comfortable and easier. So I would highly recommend outside of your, scheduled hour or 2 hours a week, jump on with the other guys, just send them a message and just practice the scripts because practicing with friends and family is all right, but with people that you know and they can chuck real objections at you just benefits so much. That just pushed me way quicker. And then yeah, so got through the training. Santino was great. He didn't sugarcoat anything. If we were some weeks, if people were doing stuff bad or they were struggling, it was like, look, you need to sort of pick it up here. You need to step up. You're paying for this. This is your education. Like, be serious about it. Turn up on time. Have the script down, and then you can push on. And we did. And then yeah, so sort of post training, Santino was like, you're probably gonna apply for 10 plus jobs, like interviews, before getting a role. And for me, hearing that, I was like, well, Jesus, I think I've had one interview in my entire life. Like, fucking hell, going through 10 and getting rejected that many times sounded pretty crap. But I mean, the process completely worked. Went through, I think it was probably about eight interviews before landing a job. Some of them were good. There was one which I was actually thinking of taking, but Santino, we sat down. There was a company that just started. They didn't have any numbers, didn't have any history. He was like, I don't think that's probably the one you should take. And you just want to jump at a job and just start. And luckily, I didn't take that one. And then we found the one that I'm on now. Um, didn't do an interview, did a trial shift, which and I did one for another one as well, and it didn't go too well. But this one worked out. Got a booking or two bookings on my trial shift, and they just had me straight away. So going through, I'm not sure if any of you have been through an interview process or getting rejected or anything like that, but it definitely helped with my confidence in terms of, and also what I wanted to see in a company, like who I wanted to work for. There was some which I didn't really have any sort of interest in, and I ended up with a solar company. And obviously, solar, you feel like you're doing something a little bit good, a little bit better for the environment. It's, a bit more ethical, I guess, rather than some sort of stuff that you might be selling, which sort of aligned with me as well. The guys I work with are all sort of similar minded as well. So yeah, it's been going well. I've been doing it since about April, so 3, 4 months. Um, First few months was just kind of getting the reps in. Again, I had sort of money behind me from my previous job, which I budgeted for. So it was like I knew the income wasn't going to like, I'm not going to be making the film money I was straight away. It was never going to happen. And that's, you've got to be realistic with that. It's going to be a process. It's going to take a bit of time. Um, so yeah, the first few months was just getting the reps in, getting the sales in, and then have been promoted twice since then into I guess the role I'm in now is sort of semi manager, semi closer role. It's I guess a little bit blurred lines with our company, but before was 100% a setter role, and now it's sort of progressed to closing deals, I guess. Um, but yeah, so I was just telling Santino then, the last month was 3,600, 3,700 for the month, which isn't too bad. It's not the money I was on before on film, I'll be completely honest, but I'm now living in Brazil. So, the exchange rate works way better for me, obviously. I still pay UK taxes, but what I pay for here just makes a lot more sense. And that was obviously that was a huge drive for me was to come to Brazil. I wanted to finish my job. I wanted to live somewhere else. So yeah, it allows me to live here with my girlfriend and work. And yeah, it's going well at the moment, touch wood. So yeah, that's pretty much it at the moment.
Cool. I've got a couple of questions before we fire them out, if that's okay.
Go for
Um,
it.
Number one, when you were going through the training, how important were the pitch and catch sessions to you, practicing with other people in your cohort and just getting the reps in?
Yeah, I mean, like I said before, that was obviously, the training is the bread and butter. You have to turn up for that, and you want to also see how everyone else gets on because when people make mistakes, that's when you can see like, oh, okay, well, this is how I can change that, etc. But doing the pitch and catch outside of the sort of standard hours that you have to do as Santino is completely invaluable. Like I would say it's treat that as if that's hours you have to put in as well because it just pushed me on so much. And also don't just stick with one or two people. If you can do it with people that you haven't done it with before, they can maybe chuck some different objections at you that maybe you weren't expecting or just the way they talk. You're speaking to different people all the time, so yeah, just experience that, and it will just make you way more confident in learning the script and objection handling.
Cool. Very, really good answer. I love that. Um, so, in your cohort when you started with us, there was other people who were in your cohort that you were practicing with and stuff like that. Not all of them went off to, not all of them actually were successful, ended up in employment and all that sort of stuff. I know why it is my side. Why do you feel like that may have been your side? Reason I want to ask this question is just to highlight the importance of what you've put into practice and what's worked for you basically and what doesn't work for other people.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we spoke about it briefly the other day because there was a couple of people, or at least like one guy that we came through the training with, and I was like, and we all knew it. He was like dead on to go and land the job and like make a career in it. He sounded so natural on the phone from like day one. And then Santino said, yeah, he just didn't like pull the trigger with it, just didn't follow through with it, which is, I guess, strange, but like the way I did it was just like literally just go 100% into it. Like I finished my job, I moved to another country and I took a job in a field that I'd never done anything in. Like I literally was risking pretty much everything. And I think that was good because it just pushed me. I think if you go in, well, if I go through some of this training, maybe in a couple of months, I might think about applying for a couple of jobs. Let's see how it goes. But I want the money to come in from my other job. You can do that, but you can just, whatever you do, you're not going to be 100% in it. I'm not saying everyone just go and quit their job and just do this, but because you might need to transition, you might need to do it in the evening or, whatever works for you. But whatever you do, go in 100% and just follow through with it. Because if you don't try and you've spent this money on the training, you've just wasted your money. You may as well just flushed it down the toilet. So just go into it and just be like, give yourself a timeline. Look, in 6 months, if I'm not in a job and I'm not making money from it, well, at least I tried it. But if I don't literally just go for it, well then, there'd always be the what ifs, won't there? So yeah, I would just say you could tell with some of the other guys in the cohort that they were turning up, but it was just like maybe I'll follow through with it. But you just need to just commit as much as you can, without sacrificing, your family and your money and everything. You just be as positive and, you know, just follow through with it if you can.
Yeah, I think the main thing, some people in your cohort, the challenge was like they passed the training, got signed off, passed their assessment, and then when it came to apply for jobs, it was like, oh, now it's real.
Yeah.
And then they were scared about getting rejection and this and that. But you're in sales now, and every one of you is going to be in sales. Rejection is the thing that you can guarantee is going to happen with you on a daily basis, all day, every day, if not. So like I always say to people, when you apply for jobs, like how you're going to make it easier is just apply for 10, 15 jobs that you don't actually want, because then you get on those calls not really caring. You understand what the interview process is like. So then by the time you apply to 10, 15 jobs you do want, you're a little bit more confident. And you know how to angle the interview process from your own perspective. Question, just with your company, this is probably just it's going to be a more selfish one for anyone who's actually applied. What's the commission structure and bonus structure for setters and closers?
So setting role, the one I started out in, which is what everyone will start out in, is 10% commission. And it's very sort of specific because um, we're selling like commercial solar leads to companies, and basically the installers will go to these companies and they will quote a system size, and then each system size as it tiers up, obviously you get 10% of a bigger cut basically, but on the system size. So there's no base pay at that level. So it's all commission, and then bonuses, they do like rep of the day. So whoever sells the most gets, I think it's like 40 quid a day or something. That's every single day. So whoever, I think there's a team of the team fluctuates between sort of three and I don't know, 8 or 10, depending on who's on the team. But whoever pushes each day, they get a bonus as well. I think there's monthly bonuses if you hit your targets as well. But yeah, my pay now is 500 base every two yeah, so a grand a month base, and then I'm on commission for the guys that are setting, and I can do my own sort of sales as well. So it's, I'm earning more that way basically. But yeah, it's all that was another big thing for me. It was like, okay, so I'm fully commission based now. Like there's no guarantee that any money is coming into my bank every month. I'm not gonna lie, I was absolutely shitting myself. I've never had that in my life. I've never worked for free. I was like, what the actual fuck? Um, but it's crazy how quickly your mindset switches to, well, fuck, I've got to sell now. Otherwise, I'm not making money. So you literally, that is just a massive boot up your ass just to go, well, fuck, let's go then. Let's literally just go. And you become naturally competitive with the people you work with, not in a bad way, in a way that, if you see someone makes another sale, you're like, fuck, well, I got to make another two then because I want to get better than them and I need to earn more. So it naturally becomes sort of competitive, but not in a, sort of wanky sales way, which, you can see on TV shows and stuff. It's not like that. It's just, you drive each other on in a sort of friendly way and just be like, come on, let's just push now, let's push. Um, so yeah, I can't even remember the
Um,
question you asked now.
follow-up question, I remember. So your base is 1 grand, but last month you earned 3,600. So that means you brought in 20 on 10% commissions, you brought in 26K in your third or fourth month into the role.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And that's not even being 6 months in, that's you now finding your feet, being confident with yourself, being confident with the product, understanding the processes and all that sort of stuff. So, being able to bring in anything 20 grand plus, is a huge milestone for anyone, just because it's a lot of money you're actually bringing in for a company. And it shows if you can do that, you can do more, just by further developing your skill set, working harder, etc., etc. So that's a huge achievement for yourself.
Yeah, no, it was good. I mean, you kind of just get lost in the numbers because it's, you're at a computer all day and you're just rattling through the phones and hitting targets and stuff. And then I guess it's a good thing because by the end of the month, I'm like, the pay's come in and that's pretty decent actually. So I wasn't even really tracking it that much. I was just like trying to hit the targets, and it wasn't like super pressured from the managers on the targets. It was like, if you didn't make a sale one day, there were some days I didn't make any sales. They would they would take you on a one-on-one call the next day for like half an hour, review your calls, and just look at the script and be like, look, this is probably where you went wrong. This is where you can improve. Your tone was maybe down on that day. Um, so yeah, it's not, if you don't hit a target, you're going to get fired. It's not like that at all. It's like, right, how can we improve? Because I need to make money. The managers make money from us making money. So everyone needs to help everyone. It's not just like, look, if you don't hit a target this week, you're gone. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like, we all want to make more money. That's why everyone's here. So what can we fix in what we're doing to make the company better and make us earn more money?
Sounds like it's a great company to work for as well.
Yeah, it's going pretty well.
Nice. Cool. That's my questions done. Mark, I think you had your hand up first if you want to fire yours away.
Okay, hi, Brent.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for taking your time out for us actually this evening. I've got a couple of questions actually. I may have missed the first part, but obviously it's quite a career change for you. What made you decide to go into remote high tickets? Not remote high ticket sales, but yeah, it is that. But it's what made you fall into it? What pushed you into changing your career?
Well, the big thing was wanting to live abroad. I found like I traveled a lot when I was younger, but like also the job I was doing was like great money. Don't get me wrong, I'll probably never earn that money again. But it just meant I was like not traveling the way I wanted to travel. It meant I had to be anywhere in the country at any point, and it was completely exhausting. I was doing 12 to 16-hour days. You sacrifice your life for that job, which is fine when you're younger, but when you want to start a family, or you get a girlfriend or a wife or whatever, and you want to spend more time at home. I didn't necessarily just want to be at a laptop. That's never been a dream for me. I'm not sure that's a dream for anyone, but to be able to have the freedom of, I work from home, or I can work from anywhere I want in the world, earning fairly decent money, was the big pull for me. I know everyone has, different things that, yeah, want them, sort of push them to do this type of job. Um, but it was finding a job that would allow me to do that, because, I can't come to a country like Brazil and get a job here. They wouldn't employ me, and it's the same, pretty much anywhere in the world. So, but also being able to live here and earn in pounds is also massive as well. So that was a big deal for me. So it's basically finding a job where I could do that and give me the freedom and sort of, make my hours more. I'm doing 9 to 5, I'm doing a full week's work. There's no hiding that. If you're doing this job, that's what you're going to be doing. So if you think it's 2 hours, then sit on a beach, it's not going to happen. I'll be honest with you. But as long as you've got the internet and the Wi-Fi and a laptop, then yeah, you can do what I'm doing from pretty much anywhere.
Okay, that's great. I mean, I think you've answered my second question because I was going to ask, what do you like about your job so far? But I think you've pretty much cracked it just now. But
Yeah,
thanks.
it lets me it lets me go and sit by the pool at 1 o'clock in the afternoon because, yeah, I was telling Santino, so now I'm working UK time, so I'm 9 to 5 UK, but for me that's
Mm,
5 a.m. to 1 p.m. here. So it's early starts, but then I get the rest of my day to myself. So
cool.
it works out pretty well. If you can get up early in the morning, then it's pretty good this side of the world.
Sounds ideal. Thanks for
Yeah,
that.
no worries.
Good.
Sorry. Can I ask? Sorry, can I ask a question? So, I mean,
Yeah.
the closers get paid 10%, even if the setter get paid. The setters get paid 10%, even if the closer doesn't close. So, how does that work? I wonder.
Yeah, so the company that I work for, I guess I'm not sure. I guess every company works very like sort of slightly differently. So basically the setters they talk to the leads, they qualify them. We literally have a script, and it's not too dissimilar to the ones that you guys are probably learning off now. They go through the qualification script with the companies that we send the information to them. And then basically they get handed to us, the sort of managers, if you will. We QC them, and then they get booked in with an installer, so a separate company. So basically, there's solar installers, and then we're giving them the lead, and then the company basically, when the installer quotes that company, that's when you get paid on it. So as long as they turn up for the appointment to look at the building, the commercial building, they see the size, they say, look, solar's viable, and they give them a quote, that's when everyone gets paid, basically.
Really cool structure. You don't even have to close anything, really.
No, I mean, the closing is done by the installer, but the thing is that if we don't QC that lead, if anything falls out with that lead, whatever I don't know, for example, like some roofs are made of asbestos and, most installers won't work with. If you haven't had an asbestos test and the installer turns up and they go, look, that's probably asbestos, well, then no one's getting paid on that because no one wants to work with it. It's it's potentially cancerous and that yeah no one works with it, so it's just stuff like that. There are ways that it falls out, but we try to put in as many sort of QCing processes that by the time the installer turns up at that company they can quote it and hopefully install on it as well, which keeps them happy, keeps all of us happy.
Really cool. Khalifa, I think you had your hand up for a while.
Yeah, thanks, Santino. Hi, Bryn.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
Just had like two questions. You answered one of my questions talking about the full-time commitment. The customers that you speak to, are they businesses or are they normal like house or homeowners that want solar panels installed, or is it a mixture of the both?
Yeah, so there's our company, we work both sides, residential and commercial. I've only worked on the commercial side. But yeah, there's a whole another team, which I know the names of people, but I've never, like, I don't know anyone in that team. I'm not even sure how big that side of the business is. I think it's pretty big. Um, but basically, we liaise with the solar installers and also the companies that they're potentially going to install on. So we're speaking to both of those. So they're all sort of high up in industries, a lot of CEOs, which you speak to, a lot of directors. It's a big money industry, to be fair, and it's only growing as well because obviously, I mean, you guys, if you're in the UK, you know which way the weather's going at the moment. So basically, everyone is trying to get on the solar bandwagon, and also for homes as well. So um, yeah, that's kind of the people that we liaise with, is either the installers or the business owners. So yeah, you've got to have your sort of knowledge down in terms of doing your homework and everything.
Do you feel like when you're speaking to like business owners, do you feel any feelings like intimidation, or is it easier than you thought it would be, or is it a different dynamic to talking to actual homeowners, or is it how is
It's
it?
yeah, I mean, I guess you can feel intimidated, but I mean, I personally I don't. It's just having the confidence in the knowledge and the training that you've done. That potential, there was one the other day where this company, they're spending 50 grand a month on electric, so literally hundreds of thousands of pounds a year, and if they install a system, it's going to be upwards of £1 million, and it's like, if you start thinking about those numbers and going, oh my God, have I really got to sell solar to this guy? It's like, I don't know anything about it. Well, then you're gonna talk yourself into a sort of nervous hole. But if you're just confident and you just be like, look, these are the questions they're probably going to answer, they're going to ask, and I've got the answers for it, well, then it's completely fine. And to be at the start, to be able to say, look, I've only just started, what I can do, I can talk to my manager and I'll get straight back to you or email you, something like that. I mean, it's completely acceptable. These deals aren't going to get done in a week. They're going to, some of them take 18 months to get across the line. So no one wants you to literally put solar on their roof tomorrow. So it's not going to happen. So it's just, whatever company you go into, it's learning the company, learning the information, and having the script, and just being confident with it.
You said it earlier, it was a 9 to 5. Sorry if I'm interrupting anybody else. Just had one last question. You said it's like a 9 to 5 commitment, like 5 days a week. Are you given your appointments in advance, like what time they'll be? Or is it just day by day you're given this person, you're speaking to this person with no preparation? Or are you told in advance a schedule of your appointments as a closer, or is it
So as a closer, I basically I'm basically setting my own pipeline, but I mean, I'm just like back to back like all day long basically. But as a setter, you're on the phones. To start with, there's a little bit of cold calling, but most of the stuff like is coming through is like warm to semi-warm leads. So you basically just have to qualify them, but then you're getting like your own, you're building your own pipeline. So you're setting it's on a CRM called Close. I mean, if none of you have heard of it, just go on YouTube and watch a quick video on it. It's fairly simple to use. You get around it pretty quick, but you just start building your own pipeline. You set your own tasks, your own callbacks, your own notifications, and that's how you just sort of build it all by doing that, really.
Thanks, Bryn.
No worries.
Cool. Marky, I think you had your hand up after Khalifa, if you want to fire over some of your questions.
Hi guys, yeah, sorry, I'm just out and about in the kitchen kicking at the minute, so that's why the camera's off. We don't want to see all this mess. So yeah, basically my question was kind of similar, been asked, but when you took the job, was it like direct 9 till 5? Is that what the hours they wanted you to work, or was there sort of any sort of leeway? That's to say, like, if you didn't have a lunch break and work like 10 till 4 or something like that, was there much flexibility in that you saw across any of the jobs, or what was that about?
There's not really any flexibility of the one I'm at now. I'm trying to think of the ones I interviewed for. They were all fairly standard, sort of 9 to 5s, but I mean, there were some that I applied for in the States, so the hours were different, but I'm pretty sure they were still sort of, yeah, that sort of 8 or 9 hour days. Like for example, where I'm at now, we have a meeting before we start, 15 minutes before, and then we have another 3 meetings throughout the day. So we have a lunch meeting, we have a mid-afternoon meeting, and an end of day meeting. So there's no sort of, oh, can I do these hours? Because you have to give feedback at every meeting. And it sounds like a lot, but actually it gives you a little bit of a break, but also time to reset. And then you can see how everyone's doing during the day. So the structure's fairly good, I guess. But yeah, in terms of the hours, I guess I don't know, Santino would know more about different sort of companies in terms of flexibility within the hours. I guess you can find them, but yeah, I didn't apply for any.
Yeah, I think your company's more. It's still kind of like a brick and mortar business, so they've got brick and mortar values. Like us, for example, like we'll have me and my team, we'll have one meeting in the morning. We've got very good tracking softwares, so everyone has their KPI on that morning meeting. We'll give everyone their KPIs for the day or for the week. As long as those KPIs are hit, then we either say, cool, you can make more money and crack on, or you can kick your feet up, relax, you've worked really, really hard today. So it depends what sort of company you're working with. Anything like online education would more structure it how we structure it. Anything that still has those brick and mortar values, would structure it to like how Bryn's company structures it as well. So it depends what sort of company you're going for.
Cool. Just a quick follow-up question to that then. In regards to like, let's just say I wanted to take, I don't know, a midweek trip to Italy and I was doing, anything that was GMT time or whatever. Do companies usually have an issue if I was like, look, I'm going to be here, but I'm going to be working 9 till 5 regardless? Is that okay? Do you reckon, do they see much of people having an issue with that?
Um,
Oh yeah, you go ahead, mate.
you can follow up as well. So as long as you get doing your hours and hitting your KPIs, companies don't care as long as you turn up. Like one of my team members, he lives in Kosovo, Albania. I think most of you guys have probably had an onboarding with him, but he triages calls, does setting for us, does quite a bit for us. He worked his full day yesterday, flew from Kosovo to the UK last night on our morning meeting at 9:15 this morning, done his work. He actually finished up early because he was done by 3:30, and that was it. So as I think companies don't care as long as they know you're going to work your hours and you hit your numbers, basically. It's all numbers at the end of the day.
Cool. Yeah, amazing. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that.
No worries. Taran?
Yeah. Hi. Hi, Bryn. Thanks for taking the time. I just wanted to ask about two questions. First, you said you're making less money than you were making in your regular job, and your main motivation, your main drive was your location freedom. You wanted to go to Brazil. So in Brazil, are you able to maintain a similar lifestyle as you were with more money in the UK, or what? How does it
Yeah.
compare?
I mean, I'd say, yeah, I haven't. It's pretty much the same, to be honest. I haven't cut anything out of my life. I'm not living like a life of luxury. It's just, I don't know, it might sound a bit stupid, but it's just a sort of standard middle class life, really. Some things are cheaper here, some things are maybe a little bit more expensive, but in general, earning in pounds works out way better here because it's 1 to 6.5, something like that. So you get more for your money. But I mean, it's not like going to live in Vietnam where I could go and buy up a street of houses. Not that you can do that, but for the price, just depends where you are really. So yeah, I haven't I haven't lost any money. I haven't made a million quid. So I'm sort of comfortable, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Okay, get it. And did you set up an LLC or something? 'Cause you said you pay taxes in the UK.
No, so I'm free. Like everyone at the company is self-employed. Before in the film industry, I was freelance, self-employed as well, which really helped. But you basically just get an accountant to do your books every year. Just keep a track of everything. I know Connor is on here and he gave a talk not too long ago. So yeah, maybe hit him up if you're not too sure about anything. But it's very simple. As long as you track everything and keep everything on file, your goings in, your goings out, and you've got an accountant which doesn't cost very much. They can do your books for like I don't know 400-500 quid for the year. And if that sounds like a lot, it's not. Trust me, for the effort that you have to put in, and it's not worth doing your own books because I've been audited before, and if you fuck it up, then you're in trouble. So, yeah, yeah, we're all freelancers, so just keep a track of everything, and you'll be all good.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Last question. How long was your ramp period when you started? How long the training took for you to, just go on the floor and start making calls?
They chucked me in on a trial day on day one.
Oh, right.
They
Oh, yeah. Okay,
they
cool.
literally just sent me the CRM, like logged in, and then were just like, yeah, start phoning. They were like, we expect stuff today. So obviously there's stuff you learn along the way, there's mistakes you make. Just naturally, I didn't know anything about the CRM or anything, so I just did a bit of research that night, but um it's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah, it felt daunting, but actually when you do it, it wasn't really.
Cool.
Cool.
All right. Thanks. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Pamela?
Nice.
I am so sorry. I just received some news. It was actually what Taran was asking, but it's just a silly question. But do you recommend getting the headphones for better sound quality on these calls, or is it just?
Yeah, Yeah, I do. I mean, I don't know how I sound right now because my this room's pretty echoey, but like if I was just talking into like the mic on the computer or whatever, it would be pretty terrible. Me and Santino spoke about this before. This is just like a gaming headset with just just a flip down mic. I think it costs like 40 quid. It's comfy. It just goes like straight over your ears. It's pretty easy. So yeah, I mean it's pretty easy just to get something like that.
If you're not going to use a headset and you're going into a more of a closing role, like you'll see, I've got a professional mic here, professional camera, and I think it's picking things up cleanly. So if you don't want a headset, I think, to be fair, I think this camera here and this mic, I think in total it was 250 quid for both, and I've had them for years and haven't changed them, and they still seem to be working fine. I hope so.
Yeah, but
Faria?
wouldn't it, sorry for interjecting, but wouldn't the sound then get muffled or anything? Like, wouldn't you need like sound panels to go with it, no?
Uh, you'd have to sound test your room, I suppose.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Working in sound before, yeah, you would.
Yeah, you'd have to sound
Otherwise,
test your
it would
room.
just sound like a box.
Yeah, I suppose.
But
Faria?
yeah.
Hi, I'm so sorry because I have a very messy background here, so that's why my camera is off. And I just have like kind of a follow-up question to the main as well. Like, how many weeks did it take you to land a role after you finished the training? And also, like, when did you actually get paid starting, like, after starting the actual role? Because I'm also thinking to quit my job and take a full-time role instead of, doing two part-time jobs.
Yeah, so the training, so yeah, like I said, literally finished the training with Santino, and then when I landed this role, the first thing they did was a trial shift for one day, and it was just like just chuck you in at the deep end and just jump on the meetings during the day and just see how you're getting on. And then you're just off to the races then, and then like I say, they do one-on-ones with you, can be daily, can be like once or twice a week, just depends on how you're doing, just to give you feedback on how you're doing. But yeah, you're just in at the deep end. It sounds scary, but it's not. You just jump in and just start going. In terms of the pay structure, we get paid every 2 weeks on a Wednesday. Um, yeah, like I said before, like the money, it took the first month, what did I make? It was probably a grand, and then it's just steadily ramped up until then. But for me, like I said, I would recommend having a bit of money behind you. Just accept that first month or the first, few weeks. You're not going to go and make thousands straight away. It's just not going to happen. It's not realistic. It's going to take some time, takes work. It's like everything in life, unless you're on a set wage, which is pretty rare to come across in this industry. So, yeah, just be prepared for it. If you are going to take the plunge, just have a little bit of cash behind you. Be realistic, and just work hard, and the money will come.
Just to follow up on Faria's question, how long did it take you to land a job from passing the training?
Okay. I think what was maybe 2 weeks doing interviews for like a couple of weeks, something like that. It wasn't very long.
Good timing.
Yeah,
Good timing.
Thank you so
Cool.
much for answering. It clears.
no worries.
Any last questions before we wrap up? No, I think that's them all covered. Well, Bryn, thank you so much for taking your time out today and jumping on and just adding value to everyone and just shining light on what needs to happen in order to make this work. Yeah, you smashed the training, you smashed the job. You're a clear testament to what happens when you actually follow the process and actually put the work in. So, I genuinely appreciate you adding value to everyone in here as well, and I hope everyone's got some value and got some very, very good unanswered questions answered. So thank you
Yeah,
very
no
much.
worries, man. And yeah, like I said, just keep following Santino's lead. Like he's been doing it long enough. There's enough people that he's trained and that he can bring on these calls that can, reiterate what I say. But you know, if he gives you feedback, if he gives you stuff to you know, get better at, just listen to him and just follow it, because you know it works. So yeah, it's all good.
Appreciate that.
Tell me, can I connect with you? You have a social media or some sort of, are you on school right now?
Sorry, me.
Yeah.
I think I'm still on the school thing. I'll have to
think you are.
check.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think you are. I haven't got rid of you, so you must be in there.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm still on there. I'm pretty sure.
Cool.
Yeah, can we reach you on school? Do you or is there a better way to reach you, Bryn, if we wanted to?
Yeah, if you do it on school, and then you know we can talk on there, and yeah, if we need to like get emails or whatever, we can do that.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
No worries.
Cool. God, Bryn, thank you again so much. Everyone else, well done this week. Some really, really good sessions. Next week's training is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, back to 6 p.m., 7 p.m. every evening. We've already had a few people sign up to to grade them, and upload reviews. So we'll be going through them on next week's call reviews. So we'll be going through them on next week's trainings. So if you haven't, feel free to get some of your pitching catches uploaded so we can put them in the review list. Other than that, huge well done this week, guys. Hope there was a ton of value shared, a few different training sessions from what we normally do. But yeah, have a great weekend. Catch you all next week.
Thank
Right.
you.
See you all
Thanks.
next week.
Thanks,
Cheers,
guys.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bryn.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.